YNW Melly, his real name is Jamel Demons. He's actually in plain clothes in the courtroom for the first time in months, again, as this judge really starts the long process of seating a new jury.
YNW Melly's finally getting his revenge against YNW Bortlen, as the judge finally gave Melly a chance of release on bail last week.
Jury selection for Melly's retrial will not begin on Monday, October 9th, like originally scheduled. Instead, next week, the judge said they will argue the state's motion to quash defense subpoenas of several prosecutors, including the elected state attorney. The defense motion to dismiss the case altogether will be heard next Friday on October 13th.
As YNW Melly's bail request was ruined by YNW Bortlen's recent actions, as it all began when it was announced that YNW Bortlen was arrested for witness tampering charges, as while his house was raided by the feds, they found some paperwork against Bortlen and Melly.
Melly's co-defendant YNW Bortlen was booked into a Miami jail Monday night and is being held behind bars on an out-of-county warrant. We just confirmed the warrant is out of Broward County for witness tampering. The warrant obtained by Law&Crime Network states as follows. On or about April 10, 2023, continuing through and including July 22, 2023, Cortland Henry, aka Bortlen, along with others, did unlawfully and knowingly engage in misleading conduct toward another person with the intent to cause or induce them to withhold testimony. The warrant continues the alleged witness had been summoned by the legal process to the jury trial of Jamel Demons, aka YNW Melly. The dates in the warrant are important. Jury selection for Melly started in mid-April, and a judge declared a mistrial on July 22nd, the same day the warrant claims Bortlen allegedly tampered with the witness.
As it would be announced by Bryson Paul, here are the images of the alleged notes discovered during the home raid of YNW Bortlen's house last week, as filed into the Broward clerks by the state, alongside these photos, where you could see that YNW Bortlen detailed where certain jurors were sitting in the YNW Melly trial, alongside a description of what they looked like. To understand how serious this is and how illegal it is, here's DJ Akademiks' reaction.
To keep it real, this is sloppy. Bortlen, how the f you gonna have the notebook of the jurors in your house? Like, god damn. Holy shit. You know what I mean? Like, brother, like, come the f on. It's like doing a and having the surveillance tape in your DVD player or something like that. You know what I mean? Like, come on, bro. Like they raid your crib and the surveillance footage of the is in your DVD player. They be like, oh, okay, thank you, brother. This can't be at your crib.
Alongside Bortlen, YNW Melly also received these new charges, as his new charges would be revealed.
The state filing 6 new charges against Demons and 2 others who were allegedly involved. The charges include tampering with a witness, directing the activities of a criminal, solicitation or conspiracy to commit tampering, and unlawful use of a two-way communication device. Now, a couple of those charges actually carry a life in prison sentence if there's a conviction.
As after YNW Melly's new charges were shared inside of the courtroom, as well as the judge telling Melly that he has no longer a chance at bail, Bryson Paul would go on and release, YNW Melly does not crack a smile at the gallery as he is escorted back to jail. YNW Melly has smiled at his family and particularly his mother at the end of every single court hearing thus far. However, this was the first time that he never did it. The real reasoning for YNW Melly's case going downhill so fast is due to the new prosecutor in YNW Melly's case. As it would be announced, the new prosecutor in YNW Melly's trial is Stephen Klinger. He is a 39-year veteran in criminal law. As just with one day of being the prosecutor in YNW Melly's new trial, Melly's already facing 7 new charges, as online lawyers have revealed that Stephen Klinger, compared to his old prosecutor, Christine Bradley, is an absolute nightmare, as even the judge is happy with the new prosecutor. When Christine Bradley was fired off of the case, it would be announced, breaking news, YNW Melly's prosecutor, Christine Bradley, has been removed from the YNW Melly retrial following an order granted and signed by Judge Murphy III on Thursday. As further explained,
I'm not a lawyer, but Bryson Boom Paul just tweeted that the prosecutor, Christine Bradley, has officially been removed from the YNW Melly case. That means she will not be the lead prosecutor for the retrial of YNW Melly. The news came from the Sun-Sentinel, and it says that while Christine Bradley has been removed, the elected state attorney and 2 key deputies cannot be called to testify. Remember, Melly's attorneys were trying to get 7 of the state attorneys to testify, and this ruling is basically the judge saying no to at least one of those.
As Christine Bradley was removed from the YNW Melly trial for committing crimes in his case. When she committed these crimes, she never came forward in doing so. So when she was finally caught, she didn't even show up to court the following day to face the judge about it, which made him extremely angry.
Typically, what I do when I have a brain or some issue about it, the prosecutor who's involved in it tells me, she comes in here, she's got an obligation of candor to the court, and I ask her a question and she advises me as to what's going on and why there's a change, why something like that. But she's not here. This is her case. We spent 2-3 months trying the case originally. It came to a jury, but she's not here for this. I don't understand that.
To make matters worse for YNW Melly, YNW Juvie's father would then even share more evidence to help out the new prosecutor. Juvie's father would do an emergency interview with Law&Crime this week, where he would state this about the retrial.
All of this legal wrangling that's leading to a delay in the second trial, how are you?
I'm taking it one day at a time. You know, you got to go through this process once again. I'll relive it once again.
As he would begin the interview sharing the last moment that he saw Christopher, aka YNW Juvie, as he just so happened to actually be with YNW Melly at the time.
Last time I spoke to Chris, it was like 2 days before the incident. Him and Melly FaceTimed me, and that's the last time I saw him. Last time I spoke to him was like that same week, man. It just hurt me to see that the love that he had for Melly to do that to him. I see if it was one of his enemies or somebody, he did something wrong or something, but the way it happened, how it happened, who did it, it just heartbreaking on both sides.
As Juvie's father would then want to expose how YNW Melly and Bortlen were witness tampering and even what code words they were using to make Melly's ex-girlfriend not testify against him in the first trial. As him sharing this new evidence is now going to help out Stephen Klinger and the prosecutors against YNW Melly in the retrial.
Both Melly, Jamel Demons, YNW Melly, and Cortland Henry, who is known as YNW Bortlen, are now charged with witness tampering. It sounds like the prosecutors are saying there was this kind of crazy way that Melly was communicating. He wasn't allowed to use the phone, but he was passing notes to people, and then this person's calling this person and then that person.
Saying like to me, they're going through extreme measures to try to cover up or convince people not to testify, like Mariah mom. They was using code words like Rihanna and A$AP Rocky's baby mom.
However, this is where things got weird. It was when YNW Juvie's father would then share what happened on the morning of the crime, in the moment that he had to drive down to clarify to law enforcement that YNW Juvie was the one that was there. As YNW Melly's mother would tell Juvie's father something very strange.
He wasn't, he had switched vehicles. At least that's what they said in the first trial, that he had gotten into, it was suggested through a defense witness, the one and only defense witness, that he had gotten into that other vehicle.
Yeah, they was telling me that I drove down there that morning to go identify Chris. I met Moretti down there that morning, other 26. And on the way down there, when I talked to Jamie, she told me the same thing. Like, don't talk to the media and tell them Melly wasn't there. Instantly, my antennas went up because I didn't understand. Like, I knew from that day, I knew something was up.
As sources labeled this a very important interview, Stephen Klinger now has so much new evidence to use against YNW Melly, not even mentioning the friend of late King Von being an O-Block resident named Jay Hood, who also did an interview recently where he would reveal that King Von told him why YNW Melly did this crime.
Did Von really tell you that Melly told him that he was 2 friends?
He ain't come out and say, like, we got into an argument. And so, you know, if you know, when people could say something without saying it. And so he told me, like, once I posted what I posted, Von was mad at me. Bro, why you put up there, bro? Walter Bam. I'm like, you sitting up here, like, you know the love we got. You do this for us, but you gonna trust that his 2 friends? And he said, them was trying to extort him. And so I'm like, if they was trying to extort him, then why are you still around them?
Revealing information that we never even knew, involving Sack Chaser and Juvie going after Melly for financial gain. As while there is all kinds of very concerning evidence against YNW Melly, the main reason that he will be sentenced to life in prison all comes down to YNW Bortlen. To understand this further, we need to dive deep into his interrogation interview he had with law enforcement on the night of the crime, where YNW Bortlen would explain what was going on when leaving the recording studio on the night Juvie and Sack Chaser passed, as YNW Bortlen reveals that after hopping into their vehicles, they began driving home until this.
Okay, tell me what happened.
Man, I was playing music. Getting off the exit. I was already getting sleepy, almost home. You know what I'm saying? And like just out of nowhere, like I just heard, you know what I'm saying? So, and I ducked down, you know what I'm saying, in the car.
Hey, well, Ashley,
and I almost crashed the car.
Let me back you up a few minutes. Where were you coming from?
I was coming from the studio, from Fort Lauderdale.
Fort Lauderdale studio. Which way did you take?
I took I-75, 595 to
75.
Expressway. Yeah.
Then you took 75 south?
As right off of the bat, YNW Bortlen's story is not making sense and it's not adding up to anything. Bortlen is trying to stay confident about his story, trying to make it seem realistic. However, he would just be caught in his lie.
Here's the hard part where we're having a hard time to understand, is that we shut down that entire area and we had officers shoulder to shoulder walk it out. They didn't find as much as one shell casing. They didn't find one piece of glass. Nothing. Nothing to what you said adds up. And it's hard.
Bro, I'm telling you, bro, that's the class.
I mean, for whatever reason, your two friends, are these your good friends?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. These my like,
these your two, I'm assuming close friends.
Yeah, we got.
And you're doing them an in-service by not telling us the truth.
I'm telling you the truth, sir. I don't like. How? What do you want?
How do you make shell casings disappear?
I don't know. How can I tell you about a shell case?
As YNW Bortlen is not budging from his original story, sticking to the script of the streets, you never snitch and you never work with the feds. So the officers continued to just get annoyed by Bortlen until an officer would ask this.
Let's talk about why. Are you having issues with anyone?
I mean, we are upcoming artists and stuff, so people like, you know, when you like start doing better than people, they start hating and stuff. You know what I'm saying?
So you had some jealousy issues.
Yeah, it's like jealousy issues. But goddamn, I haven't really been on there. But like he like my friend that's way now, God bless. He was telling me like, right. He always telling me about how people just like today. He was telling me some folks from up our way.
What's up your way?
Like Vero
Beach.
Like that's where I used to stay. You know what I'm saying? So I grew up there. So. That's our hometown, you know what I'm saying?
So what did your friend say about from Vero Beach? What was he saying to you?
He was saying basically just like they were on like Instagram, Facebook, like.
The officers are now getting a good conversation going with YNW Bortlen, and they also understand the YNW Group is a music label with artists in the area, making YNW Bortlen's story somewhat realistic in a way. However, the interrogation would go completely south. YNW Bortlen began getting angry as the officers are not fully believing his story about the crime.
I told y'all the story, and that's it, bro. I don't even want to talk about it anymore. Like, cause I told y'all, like, I don't know.
Okay, just so you know, all right, because you're saying, well, I don't want to talk anymore. There's going to be a lot more questions. There's, you know, and we're not trying to piss you off. The thing is, we don't know your friends.
Yeah.
So the reason we have to ask all these questions, because the more we know about your friends, your lifestyle, your friend's lifestyle, your friends, his friends, and the circumstances surrounding today, the more, you know, easier it's going to be for us to try and solve this.
Commonly, when the criminal in the interrogation hits this point of the interview, refusing to talk and not wanting to discuss further, it is then the officer's job to reset the playing field. The goal is to continue to ask questions, hoping either the criminal will mix up his story or even just share different details than what he originally said. So the officer goes and resets the conversation, where the police officer would then want in-the-moment details of the actions Bortlen made, as he was the one driving the vehicle when the so-called drive-by occurred.
And I'm driving, ducking for my life, trying to make sure I don't get hit. And you telling me, you telling me about shit. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to make sure I don't get hit. I'm driving. I'm trying to make sure I don't get hit. You know what I'm saying? What I'm gonna be worried about? You know what I'm saying?
I know it's not for you to worry about.
Shit crazy, bro.
But if you tell me it happened there's got to be some evidence there. There's going to be broken glass, just like there's broken glass over here from when you guys open the doors and stuff like that. Okay, there's going to be broken glass over there when the windows got out. There's going to be casings from the people at your car. Okay, there's going to be evidence over there. Okay, right now there's nothing. I kind of think I know what happened because I got information.
Now, with time running out in their allowed interrogation time, the officer would just flat out ask him, if you know who did this, would you tell me?
By just telling me the truth, even if it's something that I don't want to hear, but I respect the truth rather than BS, okay? And it's a simple question. If you knew who did this, okay? You may or may not know. If you knew who did this, would you tell me? It's either a yes or no question. Answer.
Honestly.
Yeah, honestly. The truth. You wouldn't?
Because I wouldn't want to be a part of it. I wouldn't want to be.
As YNW Bortlen does not give a firm yes or no answer using his voice. Instead, he shakes his head no. This is because if it was Melly who did this crime, Bortlen would obviously know that. So saying no to the officer's question, it could have caused his voice to come out at a different volume than what he's been using throughout the interrogation, which is due to him lying. However, the police already had a hunch that it was all a lie. As indicated earlier in the interrogation, there was no signs of broken glass, casings, or anything even in the area Bortlen mentioned. This would later be proven as fact, as during the Melly trial, it would be shared the Jeep they were driving in isn't a regular Jeep that has gone through a quote drive-by.
Assignment, which is to determine if this is a drive. And my determination was that this is not a drive-by, and it's based upon this picture here, which is a very good picture to describe it. All of these rounds are done. One is done at a stationary position. At a stationary position when all but one of these rounds are going in. The one round that has some movement in it, which is round site L here, the actually moving in that to create the little bit of a that you see there.
Okay, a lot of information in that answer, so let's break it down a little bit. You mentioned so I'm gonna zoom in on site F. Number, you said 17 outside the car. How many rounds were inside the car?
3.
And can you exclude the for Mr. Williams and Mr. Thomas as coming from outside of the car?
Yes. From the driver's side back seat.
As to the shot that was Christopher Thomas, where did that come from?
Driver's side back seat.
Okay. Is it possible for there to have been 2 inside that car?
No.
Why not?
There is no time.